God.
You know, I'm good, man. I'm hanging in there. You know, standing strong. Um, pushing the envelope. So that's really where I'm at
Yo,
with it. And
allow me to get flowers and flowers is due, my nigga. I haven't had the chance to meet you face to face,
mm,
but I heard so much real nigga shit about you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
thank,
From some real reputable dudes.
thank you.
Salute, my nigga, to even be on this platform to have this conversation with you
I
means
appreciate that.
everything to me, my nigga. Word, bro.
Nah, for sure, for sure. I appreciate that. You know, when I tapped in with a few good men, you know what I mean? NJ Soup, a few other guys, and they like, man, this is one you can do. And so this is actually my first, so yeah,
Say
so I'm
that.
tapping in, this
Say
the whole
that.
team,
Say
so we
that shit.
representing like that.
Well,
You
welcome,
know,
welcome. Well, first and foremost, welcome home, my nigga.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here.
What you did? 15, right?
No, I did 23.
20.
Yeah, 23. 23 day for day.
Okay, so before we get into that, let's go back, yo.
Okay.
How old was Mass when he jumped off the porch?
I mean, I jumped off the porch kind of early, because I was from up the hill, right? So I was from a
Okay.
block called Carnegie. Um, I grew up under the Oak Coops, you know what I mean, the Moves, the LBs, the Geeks. I grew up under these guys
Hmm.
originally. So, I was living on Carnegie. I was about 7, 8. I was born and raised. I was born in Newark. I got taken straight to Little City Projects. My pops had my mom. So we went to move from the project. So we moved up the hill,
Okay.
on Carnegie. We stayed up there. And then sports led me to down the hill. And so when I started to play sports for the Rams or whatever, I bumped into my guys who are actually, my friends and my homies today, down the hill. So that's how that whole situation, came about. But I was about 9, 10, maybe you can say, but I really, really jumped off the porch into the game culture at 13.
At 13. So
Yeah.
at 9, 10 years old, it was more so just being outside, being with the shit, or you had to hustle to eat, you had to hustle to feed. Like,
Now, see, I was one of the ones that, even though I grew up in the trenches. I was fortunate enough to have both my parents, so that was a blessing. You
okay,
know, my father, he grew up as a hustler. He grew up as a reputable in Little City Projects. They called him Yaya. You
okay,
know, and so it wasn't a situation where it was like I had to hustle to eat. It was like I was just outside. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm infatuated by the life, the things that I'm seeing. The glitz and the glamour. My grades started to slip, so pops is like, man, listen, check this out. As long as your grades is slipping, I ain't really got nothing for you. And so when that started happening, now I got to provide for myself. You understand what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right,
And
right.
so it was the discipline that I didn't understand at that stage, which led me to going out and getting it by myself.
Okay, okay. So
You know,
19 years old, you outside with it. When was your first encounter with the law? How old was you then?
I want to say I might have been about maybe like 12. It was petty crime. It wasn't nothing really significant. We hanging out in the stores. We doing little shoplifting things, just little stuff. Get a little couple candy bars, whatever,
Right,
whatever.
right.
But because we in the hood, the police, like, they all over you. Like, no matter how they can get you, they want to get you. And so,
Hell yeah, you know that.
um, once I started playing sports. Um, I was actually good in sports, right? I was pretty good. And
Okay.
so, practice became like an AI thing, right? Like practice. So,
I ain't gonna.
I'm ducking off, right? And
Now what's this? Football,
this is
basketball.
football. This is football. And
Okay.
so now as I'm ducking off and I'm hitting the teen streets, and we smoking weed in the backyards, and we doing this and third. So now police is seeing us, they chasing us, and I happen to end up getting caught one day. My
Okay.
first little run in with the law, you know what I mean? Nothing major. As a juvenile, I was actually one of the ones who was able to kind of evade the law. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Like, I had other homies who was constantly in and out the juvenile system, in and out the youth house. I might get hit here and there, hit the precinct. Yo, moms,
Hmm.
come get me. Spend the night
Right,
here and
right,
there in the
right.
youth house. You know what I
Got
mean? So I was one of those. It wasn't until I turned 18 that my life started to really make a shift, as far as, like, man, they wanted to get their hooks in me. You understand what I'm saying? So as a juvenile, I kind of escaped the law for real.
Okay, okay.
You know.
So now, age 13.
Hmm.
What year was this?
This was what, 92, 93?
92, 93. So
Yeah,
I know when the gang culture hit Jersey, it hit Jersey hard.
absolutely.
It hit Jersey hard. Um, what do you think? Why was it so embracing? Why did we take it on when it came? Like, you know what I'm saying? Jersey City, Newark, East Orange. Why did we embrace it so heavy the way we did, you think?
Well, I can only speak for us, right? Because at the time when we started to get involved in the culture, it wasn't no other bloods around. When
Right,
that's
very
no
true.
slight to nobody, that's not making it
No,
seem like, yo,
I
we
just
was the
had this
first,
I
you
just
know.
had this conversation with Soup.
Yeah, so
I
I'm not
I've been
coming like
around.
that.
You
You
know it's
know?
crazy? And I came to Soup with it.
Yeah.
I've been around. I've been in the Fed. I did 10 in the Feds. I've been
Mhm.
around. Big Red done put me, you know what I'm saying? Big Red done had me, you
That's my guy. That's my
know what I'm
guy.
saying? So I know that Tretch and niggas had this shit popping 88, 89.
Yeah.
It didn't hit New York till 93 inside the jail, 95 on the street. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And let them tell it. It's they created it, they started it.
I
But that's
respect it
not
all.
but
You
that's
know,
not
I
that's not what went down. You know what I'm
you
saying? You
know,
want to go facts?
and not to cut you off, I feel like everybody has played a significant role in it taking shape how it took shape, right?
Right,
But the reality of it is, for me, in my neighborhood, um the year was 93. That's when we officially jumped out there. You know what I mean? My guys was out in like 92. And at the time, it was a lot going on in East Orange, right? Let's just say, for instance. And so it was like the up the hill, the down the hill, the north side, the south side. So you had these things going on. And with us being direct descendants of the Naughty, right? Um, we was kind of ushered in by guys coming from over the way, right? And this isn't to speak negatively. They wasn't pushing any negative propaganda. They wasn't
right,
saying, yo, break law. It wasn't none of that.
right,
However, they just happened to be who they were. Um,
right,
and with us going through it, with the up the hill, the down the hill, the north sides and the south sides, they was able to actually see how the things that we were going through kind of mirrored what was happening on the West Coast. You
right,
understand what I'm saying?
right.
Because on the West Coast, you got a lot of neighborhood things that's going on.
Very
So
true.
that's really what it was. And so by way of that, it was kind of like, damn, y'all already doing what we've been doing, right? So it was just like, it wasn't like a thing where it's like today, yo, we just gonna make y'all this, or y'all just gonna become this. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right,
some
right,
things
right.
just happen, some things happen organically, right? And so that's really what happened. Um, and that was our inception, right? That's how we
Okay,
came about. you know
okay.
um Other dudes have their stories on how their neighborhoods came about, in most respect, because today, here it is, this on the East Coast, what are we, 30 something years later, you know
Word,
um and
word.
that's just the East Coast, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, things have taken a negative turn or whatever, but that's just the culture, right?
That's
So
his culture. Right, right, right,
but for us, that's what it was. It was 93. My guys was around in 92. And we just took hold. We gravitated towards each other. They was elders. We always respected our elders. You see what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
That was one thing that I feel like kind of benefited us.
right,
Me, and especially one of my main guys, was that we always took adherence from the older guys, right?
right.
So when people see me and they see a couple of my other people, they feel like, we ahead of our times. That's because we weren't too arrogant, to accept what
Right,
those
right,
before us had to give.
right, 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 right. Understood. So now, I know for most of us, those are the brothers we never had.
Hmm.
That was the importance that we never really felt. That was the sense of wanting to belong. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And nowhere along our teachings is there anything tell us to hurt people, harm people. You know what I'm saying? That's individuals abusing their authority, abusing their power, doing
Hmm.
goofy shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it's spoke upon, it's frowned upon so negatively. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like, y'all don't see the good shit that motherfuckers do. You know, motherfuckers feed, they give back, they get to the homeless. Like, you know, people do a lot
Mhm.
of good shit, but you know, the bad shit is gonna always be the shit that's gonna override all that shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's just the harsh reality of what the fuck it is that we do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now, boom. So you escaped. You was able to escape through the juvenile system. Boom. You ain't had to worry about none of that too much. So your first adult case was when you was 18.
My first adult case when I was 18. Um, Caught a couple drug cases. I was staying on 15th and William.
Okay.
Police raided my crib. Caught a case. Me and my lady at the time, her father, one of my younger homies who's no longer here. Rest in peace. They
That's a
raided
bit.
the spot. Um, we went in, came out. When it kind of just seemed like a ripple effect after that. Like I just couldn't catch a break. You see what I'm saying? But little bit, unbeknownst to me, this is the people, right? They trying to figure out a way to go ahead and get their hands on me and just keep me wrapped up. But I'm
Right.
naive to the way that the system works, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
I'm
Right.
living my life according to my means and I'm feeling like I'm just me. But the system is like, yo, listen, this dude is whatever. Like, let's go ahead and lock him down now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting there, I'm getting locked up, I'm bailing out. You give me a bail, I'm bailing out. So you give me a bail, I bail out, I get locked up again. You give me a bail, I bail out. Some things, I might be guilty of. Some things
Right. Right.
I was actually innocent of. You
Right. Right.
understand
Right.
what I'm saying? But that was the way that it worked until the final situation where it was like, that was the one and 23 years later, here I go.
So now Rico case.
Yes.
Rico case. You didn't know the severity? You didn't have no idea that they was plotting the way they was plotting on y'all, right?
I mean, when you one thing we'll never know, right, is how somebody else perceives us, right? Unless they
Very true.
communicate that or articulate that, right? So you just being you. So when you're not living your life for external validation, you just living according to your means, right? And that's just everyday people. Now, when it
Right.
comes to the system, you know, um, I don't feel like they seeing me like, okay, well, this dude is a problem, or this dude is intelligent, or he's getting too much money, or
Right. Right.
he
Right.
creating too much balance in the city. I'm just doing what I do. I'm just getting up in the morning and I'm just operating. You
Right.
understand
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But in retrospect, when I go to look back, the many days I spent in the cell, when I look back and I think about the PSCNG truckers that was out there from morning, noon, and night. When I'm thinking about how, the narcs is pulling up and they like, man, Mass, just clear the corners. They not jumping out on me, they're not searching me, they saying little slick things or whatever. I'm not
They
taking
always,
heed to it, right?
they always tell the locals fall back.
You understand what I'm saying?
Let us build our case. Leave them alone.
So the arrogance in me, right? Because I can admit to that. You know what I mean? At one
Okay.
stage of my life, I was, I thought I was him. Um, and so while I'm thinking I'm getting it off, right? The people was like, nah, let him go ahead and ride out, let him rock out because we got something for him. But I'm a kid too. I'm an adult in my actions, or in terms of being 18 and older, I'm an adult. But
Mm-hmm.
my mental capacity, while others might feel like it was sharp and it was acute, I still had a lot of growing to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I was dismissing and ignoring a lot of the signs, which allowed me to get caught up in this situation that I was caught up in.
So now that morning, doors flew off the hinges. I'm sure they came with all the shit. Give me
Yeah.
that feeling. You sleep. Your night came to a close, and the Rico case begins. Give me that morning.
Okay, so this is what's funny, right? I didn't come to jail for the RICO. You know, this was actually like maybe a week before I came in. Um, one of my elders pull up on me. Much respect to him. You know who he is. He pulls up on me. He like, man, listen. I heard the people was looking for you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this was about something related with the state. And
Yep.
I'm like, okay, cool. So I got a lawyer at the time. I was dealing with Paul Bergen, right? A lot
Okay.
of dudes in Jersey is familiar with Paul Bergen. He doing time right now, but he was one of the top flight lawyers in
He was one
Jersey
of
at the time.
he was one of them guys. Yes.
He was
Yes.
him. So I calls him. I'm like, man, listen, check this out. I hear robbery, homicide looking for me. Can you call down there and see what's really happening? So he calls down there. They like, nah, we don't want him. We know exactly who he is or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I call one of my closest companions and I'm like, listen, man, I'm hearing that they on me. I might need to get low. And he like, man, listen, come on. He like, come on now. And I'm like, bro, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. He like, nah, bro, come now. He won't even let me hang the phone up.
Come
And
right
I'm like,
now.
yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm coming. I'm on my way. But I know I'm not on my way. I still got some loose ends to tie up. Again, naive, young, immature. My birthday was actually about 2 days later.
Mm.
So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do the birthday thing, and then I'm gonna go ahead and roll out, right? So birthday hit. Well, day before my birthday Eve actually hit. So I'm with a couple of
Okay.
my friends. We riding around. We drinking, we smoking. They take me shopping. So I'm like, listen, man, just take me to the crib for a minute. Let me get myself together. And it was something that was just like, man, just take a minute for yourself. And so they dropped me off, and I just sat in the house. Like I didn't do nothing. I just sat in the
Something
house,
just
and
something just
I was just in my thoughts. And I didn't know what was going to unfold, how it was going to unfold, or whatever. And later on, they came and got me. We went out. We had a couple of hood bars back in the day
hmm
because things was
hmm
territorial too back then. So you kind of do whatever you're going to do in your neighborhood. And we went to a spot, the patio. I'm having fun. With my guys and everything. And they wanted to go to the after hour. But I was with somebody at that time, and I'm like, that's not a safe space, for her. So
Right,
I'm like,
right,
man,
right.
listen, that's the last thing I'm going to do. But I had yet to share the information with her about these people potentially being on my back.
Okay.
So, it got a little late. I said, man, let's just go to the crib. We went to the crib. They was already staking the joint out, and I went in, passed out, and maybe about a half an hour to an hour later, they in there. You know, um, so they got me for that. I actually got charged at that particular moment with a double homicide in the state. So that's why I came to jail. Originally in 2002, I came to jail for that. And
Okay.
I went to trial. I was found not guilty, alhamdulillah. Um, and upon my non guilty verdict, that's when the feds stepped in
That's
and was
that
like,
then.
we got a RICO form. He can't go nowhere.
Ah, damn. So did the state drop it so the feds could take it? Because sometimes they gotta like kickball it to them. You know what I'm
That
saying?
yeah, that happens. Um, so in 2000, I was charged with a homicide. Right, I was fortunate enough to make bail. Um, so when they came and got me the second time, they was charging me with a double homicide.
It's crazy.
So the cases was kind of mixy. You get what I'm saying? Like it was just them really trying to just work their hand. And so the double I went to trial for, I beat it. I was found innocent. Had nothing to do with me.
And then the feds stepped in.
The Fed stepped in. So I still had the single pending in the
Right.
state though. You
Right.
know, so when the feds come and charge me or whatever, um, the state like, yo, listen, we gonna offer you 7 for the situation in the state.
But
Now,
run it concurrent or run it.
well, they can't really, the state can't take precedence over running something with the feds.
But the feds could take it from them.
The feds can take it from them.
Right.
But by this time, I'm already in for a couple of years. I'm down Trenton, and I'm
Okay.
awaiting trial. So, um, this wasn't an acknowledgement of guilt. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
The
right, right,
system has a way of feeling like nobody takes a cop to something that they didn't do, not
right, right,
understanding that where we come from, sometimes it's better to just go ahead and get out the way, right? Because these people will knock your socks off. And so when they offered me the 7, I'm like, you know what? I've been in for a couple years.
right.
I'm gonna go ahead and just take the 7, right? Um,
Okay,
my federal lawyer come and visit me. She like, yo, you can't take the 7. So I'm like, well, what's up? She like, yo, because if you take the 7, the feds is still going to supersede you and charge
mm,
you with it anyway. So
so you're
now
gonna
your guilty plea in the state actually becomes admittance in federal court.
right,
So I'm like,
right,
okay,
right,
cool.
right, right.
Tell the state, yo, I'm not taking it. The state dismissed it. The feds superseded me and added it on to that case.
So the feds added the homicide to their case.
To that case, yes.
So wasn't that like a form of double? Ain't they charge you for the same charge that you beat though? Like
The feds don't have that. See, that's the difference, right? See, like being in the system, um, the state, they can't charge you with the same things twice because then it's considered double jeopardy.
double jeopardy, right?
What the federal system is, they can actually charge you with whatever you was charged with in the state and then charge you again with it federally because it's considered two separate entities. And see, these are parts of the law that a lot of us don't know. Like, I had a lot of
Right, right.
co-defendants that was doing time for charges in the state and then got charged again federally with the same crimes.
On some armed robbery, the feds want you for the arm, the state wants you for the robbery. So you do 10 for the robbery, think you coming home, supersede you, and give you another 10 for the month. Yeah, yeah,
It could be that way, or
yeah.
let's say for instance, you know, without trying to make it sound too crazy, let's say it's a hit and run, right?
Right.
So the state is charging you with a hit and run. You go to court, you cop out, you take 10 years for the hit and run, right?
Hmm.
The feds could just come and say, you know what? Well, we charging you with the same hit and run under this racketeering case right here. So no matter
Right.
whether you're doing 10 years or not in the state for that same crime, the feds come and they want to give you what they want to give you. They want to give you their piece of the American pie. You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So boom. So the feds supersedes you. You leave Trenton now and go to,
The feds.
okay. What holding facility did they have you at?
Well, they didn't really want to house me in no county jails. That's how I got to Trenton. You know, see, I was in the county, I was fighting my case. The county was like, we can't hold him here. So I got sent down Trenton, I got sent to MCU. That's basically the
Okay.
last stop in Jersey, right? That's the management control unit. So I was down there for 5 years. I got all of my time wrapped up or whatever. Now through the transit process, they sent me straight to Passaic County for like a week.
Okay.
They had what was a modified version of MCU in Passaic County. So I
Okay.
stayed up there for a week, right, which was basically 24-hour lockdown. I stayed up there for a week, and then I was shipped to the feds. When I got to the feds, my first spot was Big Sandy, which is one of the USPs in the feds.
Shit. Your first spot was Big Sandy.
Yeah, that was my first spot, Big Sandy USP.
Big Sandy, a rough spot.
Yeah, it was definitely it was decent, you know. But at that time, we young, we want to be involved, we want to really see what's happening, and so I needed to be there. You know what I mean? Like it helped me grow, you know, as a man.
Hmm.
It shaped me.
Hmm.
It challenged me in some ways. And so I, you know, of course you don't want to go through rough times, but you got to go through something to get to something. So I needed to
Right.
be there, you know.
So now I'm sure you heard the stories before getting there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You had to go through Con Air to get there too, right?
Absolutely, for sure.
Okay, tell me, and I need you to specify about that duct tape on that motherfucking wing because I know you saw it.
Now, if people think that's not real, that's very real. Now, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. It's actual
Bruh,
duct
that's
tape on an airplane, and it's taking off. Like so, you know. just the whole process, right? Just to bring your viewers up to speed. Um, Morning, noon, night, rain, hail, sleet, snow. When it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. And
You
so,
got on you got
you
on
wait.
paper. You got on
You got
paper
on paper
pants.
shoes, paper pants, one t-shirt, waist shackles, ankle shackles. You waiting in line. The whole plane has to actually empty before all the buses could clear. So you might have a bus from Hazleton, Big Sandy, Canaan, everything in the mid-eastern region, right? And so they got to clear all of this out. All of this time you standing outside, right? Ankle bracelets biting. You see what I'm saying? Wrist can't breathe. You know, um,
Oh my God, yo, it's
U.S.
just
Marshals in your face acting like they really want to get busy. So you got all of this going on. Your wheels is churning because you don't know what you walking into. You know, um,
yeah.
because it ain't a fear of man.
Mm-mm.
But we all have an inclination of being curious about the unknown,
The
right?
unknown.
So
Yes,
you don't know
yes.
what you walking into, right? And so
Don't.
you go through that, you get on the plane, and a lot of your viewers probably been on planes going to Miami, Dubai, wherever they wanted to go. But for me, it was me going from one spot to another spot, right? And so I get on the plane, everybody the same way, ankle shackles, waist shackles, and it's all people that's been convicted of crimes from all over the world.
All over the world.
It's not a Essex County thing, a Monmouth County thing, a
Nah, hell
Hudson
no.
County thing, and even the New Jersey thing.
Ain't even
It's
New
people
Jersey
from
thing.
all over the world, right? Men
You
and women,
even got some. You even got some females back there.
men and women. You know what I mean? And so you know that everybody is going to a place that's similar to where you're going. Some might be a little lower custody, some might be a little higher, but we all going to jail, right?
We all
And
go to
so
jail.
I went through that. I got off the bus, man. This is my word. I kid you not. So I get off the bus being R&D. And it's about maybe 20 of us. A bus that leaves
Okay.
from the plane to a spot holds 40. So it's
Okay.
about 20 of us. We get the R&D, lieutenant come in, and they got a way of trying to jazz up how these spots is, right? So the
Okay.
lieutenant get a spill, if you owe somebody, don't go out there. If you done told on somebody, don't go out there. They they
Mm-hmm.
they, they gonna give you a whole rundown, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um get with your people, they gonna actually encourage you to get a knife and they gonna encourage you to do these things, right?
They're gonna encourage you to do these things. Yes.
And
Yes, Lord.
so and so we in R&D, and while the lieutenant is saying this is my first spot. So I'm not really hip to this being they low spill.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
no sooner than he says this and walks out the
Yo, you hear me? You hear me? You hear me?
okay, yes, I hear you now.
Okay,
So
be good.
somebody
There we
was
go.
calling. Um
Okay. Okay. Okay.
so um so now soon as he walks out, the deuces go off. The body alarm, that mean that something is transpiring somewhere on the
Something
yard.
transpired. Yes, sir.
Now a
Yes, Lord.
yard typically holds about 1,000 to 1,200 people. Dude is coming out on the stretcher, right? You can see blood all over him. They taking him out.
Mm.
So in this particular instance, no matter how much you feel like you ready for what's happening, now you seeing what's happening.
Now you
You
see what's
understand what
happening.
I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes,
you
Lord.
can't
Yes.
really. It's like, all right, this is really real. And
Mm-hmm.
so that happened. They let me out on the compound. The jail was locked down. I woke up in the morning, and they opened the jail because back then it was a thing where like something happened. Somebody dies, somebody gets stabbed or whatever. Clean the blood up, keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Open
Yeah.
the doors and let's get right back to it. So that was actually my first experience walking into the feds.
Sheesh. First day there.
First day.
First day there. So now, what was that mentally like? Like, I you knew like it was one of them things like Well, like no man. Well,
I
matter of
mean,
fact, let's go.
it, it's home.
Let's go. Let's go back a few weeks before this.
Okay.
You took a plea for this time, or you went to trial.
No, we took. So actually, it was about 18 of us.
Okay.
Um, it was 18 of us. Originally, they was offering us a global plea, right?
Okay.
So a global plea is basically whatever numbers they offering everybody. Everybody takes it, or nobody can't take nothing.
Okay.
You know. And so when that happened, they brung us all up to court, right? So we all up to
Hmm.
court. We in the jury, the little jury box area.
Okay.
And so the dude that was actually the prosecutor on our case is the dude Mark Agnifilo. Mark Agnifilo is the guy that was Puffy lawyer on his case just now. That was actually the
Okay.
prosecutor on our case.
Oh
Um,
shit. Okay.
yeah, Christopher Christie, the one that ran for president and all of these things, he was actually the attorney general that was in charge of our case. And so what happened was they brought us up. Where Mass be offering you 35, Trail be offering you 35, Philan be offering you 10. This is how it's going. And so, respect to everybody. Everybody like, yo, listen, bro, like what you want us to do. But
Right.
it wasn't a situation where it was like I didn't want to take charge of nobody's life with respects to that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
I was honored, that dudes had chose to come to me or come to my brother Trub and like, yo, what do y'all want us to do?
Right.
Um, but for us, it was like, honorably, take your time and move on because everybody wasn't being offered 35 years,
Right.
30
Right. Right.
years.
Right.
And so um what happened was because it was a global plea. So
Okay.
everybody take it and nobody take it. So we couldn't come to a resolution that day. I left court. I was sent back down Trenton. The next day, my lawyer comes to see me. She's like, I got some information for you. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? She said, the prosecutor chose to tell me that being that you feel like you have more power than they have, the global plea is off the table. Whoever want to take their time can take their time, right? But I was never stopping nobody from taking their time. So it actually worked in our favor because now my co-defendants was able to go ahead and just get out the way. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Opposed to being wrapped up into a trial that some of them really didn't have to go to trial for. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly. Exactly.
so when that happened, cool, it allowed our co-defendants to get out the way. At the end, it was six of us. It was six of us left at the end, and we
Okay.
pumping trial, we pumping trial, we pumping trial. We thinking it's like the state. Now in the state, they
Right.
might offer you 30, then it's
Right.
25, then it's
And then come
20.
back. And then
You see what I'm
come.
saying? They work
Right.
it
Right.
like
I know
that.
the shit.
But for us, it was like 30, we don't move, we don't budge. 30, go to trial, we smoking you, spend the rest of your life in the feds, we'll see you
Sheesh.
never. Right? And so collectively, because we going to court every day at this time, he was actually picking the jury.
Hmm.
So now we going to court every day. It was me and a
Sheesh.
couple of my good guys, and we talking and we building. But 30 years is a tough pill to swallow. We at this time I might have been
Oh
about
yeah.
25. So it's like,
Right.
damn,
Right.
I'm
Right.
really
Right.
like 30. 30, and so I'm talking to my guys, and we kicking it and we kicking it and we trying to really figure it out and figure it out. And ultimately we came up with the fact that, man, you know what? It's either 30 or life. So I took 30. Trub took 30, YG took 30, Flock took what he took. Um, my younger brother Def, he took what he took, and that was
Right.
really our situation. So
Right.
that's how we
Right.
got it on the end. So ultimately, to answer your question, yeah, I pled guilty to 30 years in the federal system.
Now I pled guilty to 10 years,
Okay.
and it was niggas in there with 55, 60s looking at, and they like, listen, nigga, take that shit
And
and
and,
roll,
and be happy.
right?
Yeah.
Take that shit and get on, right? Like, trust me, bro. You don't fight them people because I'm thinking the same thing. Yo, they
Hmm.
offer me 10. I said I'm gonna try. They're gonna come back with a 7. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, nah, I'll fuck out of here. They're gonna come back with a 5. I'm gonna take this 5. And they're like, nah, it's 10 or try. You're looking at life, you're gonna try. Anything from
That's
10
it.
to life if you're gonna try.
For sure.
So now I'm in a position where I'm like, and I'm hearing everybody tell me, yo, take this time, take it, run, just take it and go. As a man, it hurt taking a plea for 10 years. Coming in 20 years old, knowing I might not get out here till I'm 30, 31 years old, right?
Mhm.
As a 25-year-old man, how did it feel taking a plea for 30 years, my nigga?
Um, it hurt it. It was a lot. I wasn't even, how do you take a plea for 30 years and you're not 30?
You're
You
not even
know,
30,
when I was born, I mean, excuse me, not when I was born. When I came to prison, I had just had a newborn son, a
right?
newborn daughter. You know, they wasn't even 2 months out the womb, and I was already in. You know, so it's tough. You know, you living your life a certain kind of way, so you prepared to take what come with it. You know, but to just stand there and say, "Man, I'm gonna take 30 years," that's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah,
What
man.
what changed my mind is one person in this world that I have to thank for being home right now, right?
Yep.
And it's not saying that nobody else wasn't instrumental because I've had many people that played a part in me getting home.
Okay.
Um, but I would have a life sentence right now, and we wouldn't be talking, we wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for my mother. You know,
Talk
and
about
I
it.
know, as a mother, you know, you don't want to lose your child for a day.
Right.
And and my mother and my lawyer actually had a good rapport. My lawyer was a female lawyer, right? And
Okay.
she's telling my mom's like, listen, like they not playing with him. This is really what's happening. And
Right.
mom said, man, mom sent me a message in the courtroom, and she said to my lawyer to tell my son, don't let these people in your life. If you do this 30 years, I'm gonna do it with you day for day.
Do what
You
you did for
know,
this.
and off
Yes,
for
sir.
30 years, I did 23 years, and she did it all day for day. So
Mom Dukes, Mama Love.
so my freedom is definitely by way of moms,
That she was coming up there to the
Moms
mamas.
is moms is everywhere. I don't think it been the spot I've been to that moms ain't show up. You see what I'm saying? I done been to Big Sandy. I done been to Beaumont. I done been to Pollock. I done been to the Smooth twice in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Wherever you really wanna, I done hit all four corners of the earth. And no matter how it happened, it might not have been a consistent thing, but you can't put that burden on nobody else, right?
Right.
But moms ain't miss a beat. And
Nice.
mom was the first person that was outside them gates when I was released.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
definitely big shout out to moms for sure.
Damn, yo, that I lost my mom right before I went in,
Mhm.
and I know if my mom was alive, I know my support from her would have been crazy. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
So to have mama love in your life like that, like, know what I mean, that's solid, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
that's that's big for me.
That's super solid, yo.
For
So
sure.
now, was there any kids inside this time or no?
What kids wear?
Did you have any children?
Yeah, I had two newborns when I came to jail.
You had two newborns.
Yeah, I came to jail on my birthday, October 1st of
Right.
2002. Um, my daughter was born May 26th,
Okay.
and my son was born June 11th. So they was actually a
Hmm.
couple of weeks apart, you
Right,
know.
right.
And so you figure what's that 3 months? They was both 3 months old when I came to
3 months
prison.
old. Right, 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 right. So with the stress of mama love and the newborns, how was you able to stay focused, bro?
I mean, you got to survive. I mean, at the end of the day, when you wrapped up in it, you got to have tunnel vision.
Right.
And I want to apologize to a lot of people that might have felt like when I was doing my time, I distanced myself.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no slight to nobody. It wasn't no disrespect. It was just that you got to lock in. And I'm
Right.
one of them people that I knew what my reality was when I was on the outside, so I didn't want to come on the inside and then make it a
Right.
situation where now I'm leaning on other people, right? And
Right.
so I just stayed focused um on my environment, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
the prisons ain't nothing but another form of the trenches. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? It's just as unfamiliar faces. And so I stayed conscious and aware of what I had going on in there. You know, I dealt with that, and I knew ultimately, even from when I was a youngster, despite what people might feel, for me it was all about a transition. And so I
Right.
started to utilize my time to transition and phase myself out of one lifestyle into another. So I think that in itself, you know, the mercy of Allah, helped me and and allowed me to get through. The support system of peers and just words of wisdom. I got a good brother Qua. He was very instrumental in how I did my time and how I
Right.
came
Right.
home. So it's so many people that played the part. It's not just a mass thing. You understand what I'm saying? I might
Right.
be the one here talking to you, but
Right.
I'm a makeup of many different individuals that have played a part in my success, if that's what we
Talk
want to
about it.
call it. My freedom, my being able to survive on the inside, or whatever. As a man, I gotta stand on my own too, for
Right.
sure.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
but we face whatever we up against. You see what I'm saying?
So
And
what
we do
was
it with our head up and our chest out.
so what was some of the main politics and like them pins that like the homies? Because I know you got the Jersey car,
Hmm.
you got the homie car.
Hmm.
You know what I mean, if you also practicing the religion, there's a lot of things that go on with that. So
Hmm.
what was some of the main politics that was going on inside like them hot facilities? I was only hot facility I was in was Leavenworth.
Okay.
I'm from Fort Dix to Cumberland to Leavenworth, and
Okay.
I
Okay.
came
Cool.
home. So
I touched Cumberland on my way home. I left from Cumberland.
a word. That's what's
Yeah, I
up.
left from Cumberland.
I was in C1 down there.
I want to say I was in D1. Yeah, I was
You
in
was a
D1. I was in D1.
you was across from
Across
the
from RDAC.
across from that. Okay, cool,
Across
cool.
from
Word,
RDAC.
word. Cumberland
But
was Cumberland was
yeah,
cool. Cumberland was
yeah,
cool.
Cumberland it got me home. It got me 2 years bracelet. Or I would have been home actually 2 years later. So
Nice, nice, nice.
but the politics is basically a situation where it was like this. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer, right? I was a blood when I came to prison, right? And so my ideology was always I'm gonna leave how I came, right? Despite whatever growth I have, despite how much I evolve, right?
Right,
I
right.
just felt like it was important for me to leave how I came, right?
Exactly.
And
I get
and
you.
and so even though I would tend to Jumu'ah, right? Every Friday consistently I'm in Jumu'ah.
Okay.
Um, love, I got more familiar with how it worked in affairs with respects to Jersey. So it wasn't we from Newark or we from East Orange or Essex County. It didn't matter what part of Jersey you was coming from. He from
Right.
Jersey. I get the bus list. If he pulling up on the yard I'm on, he get a care package. I'm gonna make sure he's straight.
Make sure you're
This is
straight. Right.
this your sale, and we off to the races. And
Right.
so, but at the end of the day, ultimately, no matter where I've been from start to finish, I was always on blood time, right?
Say that. Say that.
Blood time didn't necessarily constitute something negative, you know, but for the people that's viewing, that's how it go when you come in, right? So
Right.
when you come in, you got 24 hours, right, to pull up with who you
Identify
with,
yourself.
right? This is
Identify
where I'm at.
yourself.
Yo, I'm a blood. I'm with the Bloods. Yo, I'm from Jersey. I'm with Jersey. I'm from, here. I'm with these guys because you
Right.
have to
Right.
tie in where your allegiance is to. Um, and despite the high profile case and all of that, I just still felt like I owed it to my community and my environment. I had a lot of dudes that rode side by side with me, some
Right.
dudes that was over me, some dudes that was under me. And so I ain't want to come to jail and now be like, yo, I'm not this thing, or I'm not
I
representing this
get it. I
particular
get it.
thing. You see
I
what I'm
get it.
saying?
Hell
So
yeah.
I had an obligation to myself and to my neighborhood on the outside to feel like when the word get back to the streets, yo,
I
bro, in
gotta
there,
make
he
sure.
holding it down, he representing. So I always perform no matter where I was at. You
I
know,
get
from
it.
start
I
to
get it.
finish. You know, if you want to do your homework, anybody want to do their homework. Wherever
Oh,
I was
nigga,
at, I
nigga,
always, you
bro.
know,
You was with my man, old Mega Red.
yeah, yeah.
You know what
Me
I'm
and Matt, that was
saying?
my guy. That was my study for a minute.
Bro. Trust. I know when y'all was shaking shit. I know when shit got.
Mhm.
I know when shit got real. You know what I mean, down fucking Sandy and all that shit. Like,
Yeah,
I already know the shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean, like shit was. You know, the feds. Our communication system is very tight, niggas. Especially with that
you have
email
to be able
system.
to make links from one spot to another. That's very important.
Niggas start sending pictures out. Next thing you know, somebody you
Yeah,
fuck with hot. You got
yeah.
it. Shit should be. It's a lot of politics that go on
Like this in an instant.
in an instant, bro. In a fucking instant. This is in medium, low, camp, pen. It don't matter. Shit can get
Exactly.
real anywhere you fucking go, bro.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what was like the racial tension in there? Because I know shit get real with the Mexicans the further you out, shit like that. So what was like some of the racial shit that was going on in there?
Um, it's a real live, it's a real live black and brown war going on the inside. It's a black and white war going on the inside, and things might stay mild. They might stay easy. For maybe let's just say 6 months out of the year. But once something happens, once somebody crosses over that line,
Mm-hmm.
and you got another 6 months of wartime. So something might happen. They lock us down for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Doors open, it's right back at it. So culturally, outside of the gang culture, even though things are territorial, geographical, it's gang disparities and things like this. Um, Ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's going to be and I'm not trying to promote separation or nothing of that nature. That's not how I'm coming. I'm just
Right,
trying
right,
to
right.
just trying to explain how it goes on the inside. It becomes a us against them thing, right? To the point to where as though you know when it's time, this guy might be from Washington D.C. And
Mm-hmm.
we from New Jersey. But if a bunch of Mexicans do something to him, we all gotta be there. Or if a white Aryan Brotherhood do pull up on him from California and try to press him out, we all gotta be there for him. And that's just how we go.
Right.
Because if you're not doing that, then you ain't just betraying your people, you betraying everybody. You know, and people feel like betraying the code is or he told or he doing this. It's many different layers to betray your people. you know, not not standing side by side with a man that's a man. You know, turning a blind eye, that's something that you shouldn't be turning a blind eye to. So being truthful, holding people accountable. So there's many things that take shape that we dismiss because we try to categorize it and make it into a certain thing. But to get back to your question,
And a lot of times,
I'm listening to you, bro.
hey, now like a lot of time when it came to that racial shit,
Mhm.
the homies, the yard itself, when it's a black on black situation, niggas be all in.
Absolutely.
But when it
But when
comes
it's
time to deal
racial,
with these other races,
people like, yo, we ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't that. Dudes is missing rec moves because they don't want to come outside. You got some dudes that's
what the
checking in. It happens. It
that's
happens.
heart that's heartbreaking, bro. That's
Yes,
heartbreaking, yo.
it's
When I
very
seen that shit,
discouraging. It's very
like
discouraging.
where's the like now niggas? Oh, I got a visit coming next week. Yo, I got this happening. But if it was Philly against Jersey, niggas would be ripping each other heads off, no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that always bothered me, even with how we pull up, depending on what unit you in, you might not get no care package until that next move.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
you see the white boys, you see the Spanish cats come in, and just
Instantly.
because they what they are, they get situated. You know what I'm saying? And that
Instantly.
I ain't gonna hold you like the feds will open your eyes to a lot of shit how people think.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't in there for the average crimes. They in there for smart nigga shit or straight dumb nigga shit. Because the
Hmm.
feds changed. You know what I'm saying? It ain't how it
Absolutely.
used to be. The feds
Nah,
changed.
it's definitely different.
It's when they took on that, when I came in I was in Fort Dix '05, '06. They took an INS contract in like '03.
Mm-hmm.
So now they took on like immigration, gang members. They took on shit that the state supposed to have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It went from mob bosses to gang members to immigration to why is a nigga ready to be deported in here with a motherfucker who just did a motherfucking hedge fund crime and just came over 200
Yeah.
million. They
Yeah.
going one is going to press the other out.
For
See, that's what
sure.
the feds. So when you say state versus feds, and they be like, "Yo, the feds was a sweet bid," I'd be like, "No, motherfucker, hell no." I think the state probably got a better bid than the feds.
The state has a way better bid. I used to say in all my time in the state, I was locked down. I was doing 23 hours a day, behind the door. Um, Yet and still, I would have much preferred to be back in the state than be in the feds. Because the feds is just a messy situation, all around the board. Um, Everybody got all the sense, right? So, back then when I came in the system, early 2000s, mid 2000s, you had the books, the 48 laws of power,
Right,
the 33 strategies of war, and these things, right? And so everybody became a Sun Tzu, right? So now it's just everybody's just thinking that they could just outsmart the next man. So now,
right, right,
not only do we have the street dynamic of where it makes people difficult to trust, or you being in a situation where you in prison and let's just say it's 20 dudes that's bloods that's in the same car, but they from all over the world. So you
right.
trusting them, but it's a limited amount of trust that you can actually extend because you don't know this guy from a can of paint. So you
Nah,
have that going on, right? Then you have the Sun Tzu concept where the manipulation becomes a part of it, right? To where
right,
everybody want to trick you out your spot. And so it becomes so dangerous, right? Not so much from a physical perspective. Of course, it turns out to be physical. I mean,
right, right,
whenever it happens, it happens.
right,
But
right,
it's the psychological mind fuck that takes a toll. When it's like, damn, is the nigga next to me really a nigga that's for me? You see what I'm saying? Or is this nigga really working with the nigga over there
right,
trying to smoke
right,
me? You see what I'm
right. Or
saying?
is he a motherfucking snitch? Is he wearing a wire?
So
Who
so
sent him?
now you got the thing where it's like, okay, I gotta have my knife on me because you know if a nigga playing games, I definitely ain't gonna lose my life in here, right?
Right,
Then I gotta have my knife on me morning, noon, and night. But when the police come and pat me down, now I'm getting caught with the knife. Now I gotta go to the hole for 30, 45 days, get shipped across the globe. So it's a lose-lose situation.
lose situation.
But that became the system for a minute. You know what I mean?
Right,
Until it started to kind of die down. And what I think made the system die down was when I hit the federal system, I was 26.
okay,
Right? I had been there since I was 22. I was 26. No, excuse me, I was 27. And but today they won't allow you to go to the penitentiary that young.
right,
So they
right,
they
right.
kind of they kind of molding it the way as though they could kind of monopolize the prisons to keep certain things down.
Hell
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
They was bringing the younger dudes, sending them to the pens, basically letting you learn some respect and getting the
Exactly.
elders and getting the oldest out of the pens. All right, y'all
Out
done
of
been in
there.
there. You know what I'm
You
saying? Y'all
feel
done been
me?
in there killing and stabbing. Come on down here, relax.
Exactly.
Because the
Exactly.
atmospheres is definitely different.
Definitely. It's
Like
definitely
it's
different.
definitely the tension is thick. It's
Hmm.
it's 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 if you're not a room reader, you're gonna die if inside the feds.
And I hate to be on this platform and making it seem like I'm glorifying or I'm trying to make it just a big horrific thing, to make it seem like, oh, I just survived a hell of a situation. But the reality of it is that it's serious.
It's serious, yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a serious situation.
Hell
For
yeah.
all the youngins that's outside, they know how it get when they outside. When you step off that porch, really what's happening when you got people that's opposing you in prison. especially in the feds, is that times 10.
Times
You
10.
know,
And
um,
ain't no guns in there.
ain't no
So
long distance, ain't no long distance, nothing.
when something
Everything is
happen, you
up
gotta
close
get
and personal.
you gotta get up close and personal, and
Nah, for sure,
it's a different crime. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It's a whole different feel of energy when you gotta move like that. You know what I'm
Nah, for
saying?
sure.
And so a lot of these cats go in there and they don't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now, what year did you write your book?
I started to write my book in 2010.
Okay.
I want to say it was 2008. Um,
Fellow author.
okay,
I got a book
okay.
published too. Fellow
Send
author.
that. Okay, let's do something. You know,
Hell yeah.
um,
Hell yeah. Hell
in
yeah.
2008 they put out the Gangland series, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I had no knowledge of this, right? I had no knowledge. They just took some wiretaps, took some pictures, and just put it on TV one day. So me and one of my co-defendants dropped. Um, we walking down the yard one day, so people kind of keep looking. You know, when I was somebody, that people recognize on the yard. So when
Right,
people
right.
was like paying extra attention this day, so I'm like, damn, bro, what everybody looking at? I had missed the episode from the night before. So
Okay.
my man Slash, Jamal Palmer, you know what I mean, Grape Street, you know what I mean, he had a jersey. Um, because in there, like red and blue, we was clicking. You see what I'm
Right, of course.
saying?
Yes, yes.
It wasn't no both sides, it wasn't no one over here, one over there thing.
I know the
So
shit. Hell yeah.
he pull up on me and he like, damn, bro, that's how you feel? So I'm like, what you mean? Like, he like, man, but he's saying the series. So I'm like, man, so he like, nah, bro, the drink was on the situation. So I'm like, man, whatever. So anyway, long story short, that kind of pumped a certain narrative of who I was, right?
Right, right.
Um, that's the propaganda of the system. Like they work it how they want to work it, right? So they put it out there like that. And on the back end, I had ended up going to the hole. So I was in the hole in 2010 on my way to the SMU.
Okay.
The SMU is the special management unit. 23 and 1 is like an 18 to 24-month program that keep you locked
That's
down.
that's similar to the ADX program,
That's
correct?
similar to the ADX drink, right? It's just the next drink. You got the ADX, you got the SMU, and then you got the penitentiary. So that's like the levels of how the federal system works.
How the fuck you getting the smooth, bro?
Um, well, I actually had ended up there twice. One incident. The second time I went, we had got into it with some South dudes or whatever, and things kind of turned crazy, and I went for that. The first time was more like influence. You see what I'm saying? Like they was more fearful or frightened of um what they felt like I was making happen or
Right.
could make happen on the yard. You
Right.
see what I'm
It's crazy.
saying?
I was just explaining to my homegirl, like, yo, the ADX shit, you could just go there just because they think you somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying? Just
So
because they
yeah, now
think, you know what I'm
they
saying?
literally grabbed me
Just
like,
because
yo,
they,
listen, you out of here. You see what I'm saying?
because
Um,
the war in that Leavenworth, because we was checking paperwork, they like, yo, keep checking paperwork. I'm gonna send your ass
yeah,
down Colorado, yo.
we gonna move you. That's how I going. That's how they operate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and so to bring it back, I was in the hole 2010, and I had got a letter from an old childhood friend of mine, and he like, yeah, man, the streets want to hear from you because I had kind of went dark, like not dark in an emotional and mental sense, but like
Right, right.
when I caught my federal case, I asked them for documentation so I could fight my case, right? I didn't
Okay.
have anything. So I asked for discovery, right? Discovery is basically whatever they saying they got against you. They wouldn't give me anything because they was frightened that we still had the ability to touch people from the inside. So what they gave me was letters, mail, right? So for like the first 4 or 5 years of my bid, brothers and sisters write me from all over the world, right? They just wishing me good luck, hope I get
Right, right.
home or whatever. But they utilized this information and manipulated it to fit what they wanted. So if you had wrote me and you could have just said, man, bro, I wish you the best, blah, 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 blah. But you started the letter off acknowledging me as Big Bro. They used the title Big Bro to make me
Right.
that guy, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
and so the guy that reached out to me was like, man, the streets, they ain't hearing from you. The world feel like this because of this media, media, outlet or whatever.
Right.
Let
Right.
them
Right.
hear from you. So he like, man, write a book. But over the years, everybody on the inside like, man, bro, write a book, write a book. I'm like, man, I'm
Got a
not no
book.
author. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not an author. You see what I'm saying? I'm just, what I mean? I'm just a nigga from down the hill. And but I knew I had at least 2 years of being laid down. I was on my way to the smooth for 2 years being locked behind the door. And so I said, you know what, man, on the strength, I'm gonna try it out and see how it go. And I started to write. And as I started to write and think about certain things that transpired in my life,
Right.
it started to tie into me emotionally.
Right.
Um, and that gave me more fuel to pump this page, to pump that page, to pump that page. And my truth is just my truth. So it wasn't like I had to try to figure out a way to articulate it or make it
Right.
make
Right. Right.
sense. Yeah,
Everything just came out. Right.
my truth is my truth. So I'm saying, of course, you got to guard certain things and protect certain individuals and all of that. Like we never gonna step outside of that,
Of course.
But and that's how it kind of unfolded. So I put it together, and I want to say we dropped the first book in 2015.
Okay.
Yep, in 2015.
Yeah, because you was picking up hella steam out here, bro. Like the book was definitely like, oh, all right, bet, oh, all
Thank you,
right,
thank
hell
you,
yeah,
thank
like
you.
let's go. You know what I'm saying, see what's up with
Mhm.
that. So the book deal came about. You got your book out there. How did it feel just releasing some of that?
Um, I think it meant a lot because it was kind of a way for me to express to a lot of people, like my peers, things that I never actually had the courage to express to them while we was outside. We taught at a young age. We don't deal with feelings and emotions. You see what I'm saying? You guard your tongue. You don't move a certain kind of way. And so you could be with somebody that you will give your life for. Like you love this individual, to hell and back, but you would never articulate it. Like
Right.
I could love you with everything I got in me, but the streets teach us to never say, yo, I love you. So
Very
the
true.
book gave me an opportunity to be able to say I love you without necessarily saying I love you. You understand what I'm saying? Just if
Right.
if if
Right.
if, if, if you could dig beyond the surface and see what I'm really where I'm
Right.
going with this,
Right. I
right?
feel you.
And
That's why sometimes when you write somebody a letter, you get more across versus sometimes physically actually saying it because you right, we're really not taught, especially men, we're really not taught articulation. We're taught to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So the fact that you can sit down, you ever start writing one of your females a letter, you writing, next thing you know, you got 8 pages, 12 pages. You just, you know what I'm saying? And she like, yo, I didn't know you felt like that. You like, yo, I get brain locked trying to say it to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when I writing that shit down, it just flowed out. So, you know, when I wrote my first book, it was like I was reading all the hood books to the point where I could read the back of the book and was like, I know what this shit gonna be about. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna come so different.
Hmm.
I'm gonna come so different that you ain't gonna be able to tell what the fuck my shit about. And next thing you know, I just started writing and writing and writing and writing. We got a young lady here want to know where to find the book. My boy Truth already told her where to find it. But let somebody know exactly. There's a link that you can tap into to find your
You
book. They
could
want to know right now about the
You
book.
could definitely find the book on Amazon. I got a good brother of mine. I got actually two good brothers of mine. Like they pumping them right now. I
Heavy.
got the brother Rude Boy, the Real Six Baby. They moving them, in and all out of Jersey right now. Um, the Real Six Baby is his Instagram. And Red Money Jersey is Rude Boy Instagram. So you could get them from them if you around the way. If you anywhere in Jersey, they'll reach you, they'll find you. Um, or like I said, you could get them on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. They available. You could tap in with me at Americas_Massacre, and I'll make sure you get it. I mean, at the same time, we got merchandise, we got hoodies, we got hats. we moving. Like we just trying to, we trying to do something positive, stay away from the negative.
That's it.
Um,
That's it.
and why I got the opportunity so people understand the concept behind America's Massacre, right? Because
Okay.
a lot of people don't know really what's the concept. And so I know it's difficult for some people to put on clothing that says America's Massacre because they feeling or they relating it to a certain kind of thing or a certain kind of stigma. Um America's Massacre could be anything that places a hardship on urban society, right?
Right.
Or
Right.
America
Right.
or America's bottom half. And so
Okay.
um America's Massacre could be the young lady who feels like she has to strip to feed her children. The young child who feels like he has to sell drugs to get by. Um,
Right.
the the single mother who has to hold down her child because her husband or her baby father is locked up. This is
Right.
all the
Right.
form of America's Massacre, right? And so, I definitely ask for everybody to support that movement, and have a clear understanding of where I'm at. I'm not pushing nothing negative. I'm not on any of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and so, this is a way of us to speak to another part of America on what we feel. You see what I'm saying? In
We
our
need that.
level of understanding on how we being treated. And
We
so
need
I
that. We
definitely
need
wanted
that.
to make that clear.
We need that because it could easily people easily take things and make their own opinions of it and build their own truths around their opinions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I know like writing helped me. Like it was a good pastime for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I worked it out with the lady in the school building. She let me bring the typewriter to my cell.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that
I
was
was
dope.
able to, you know what I'm saying? I was in the cell just going, I just found so much peace and just writing. Like, you know what I'm saying? To the point where once we get our situation together, if you want to have a fucking writing pop up shop where we can teach people to write books and shit like that, I'm
Mhm.
open to work with you on that. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm open to any collabs, man. That's listen, man. If there's anybody out there that's doing anything positive, I'm with it. You know what I mean? I ain't above, I ain't below. I'm willing to link in with anybody, and I reiterate that anybody that's doing something positive. So if that's what you want to do, whether we set it up now or set it up later, let's link, let's make it happen. Now we
Let's make
can't
that
put this
happen.
out here like this and then not follow through. So I'm
And then I
saying,
follow
so
through. So once it's in the universe, we got to get to it. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Because hey, yo, everybody don't know that federal walk and that state walk is two different walks.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody don't know about that federal walk, man. That federal walk is different. You know what I'm saying? When that chaplain come, when they call you to the chaplain's office, and you know what I'm saying, like what was how you felt when you lost your first loved one behind the wall, bro?
Um, well, the first person I lost while I was in was my father. You know,
Rest in peace, of pops. Rest in peace.
yeah, I was actually in the hole, at the time, and they shook my door. They like, man, we gonna give you an opportunity to use the phone, and so I knew it was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gonna let me
Mm-hmm.
use the phone, and so I go to the phone and I call, and you know how like that quick little second you can hear somebody saying what they saying when they pick up the phone. So I
Mm-hmm.
hear them like, "Hey, this him. What should I say?" So
Right.
when they hit five, I'm like, "What you mean? What you should say?" You see what I'm
What you
saying?
mean?
Yeah. So they like, "Oh nah, ho." I'm like, "Nah." Like, what's happening? So they like, "Man, look, your mom's just trying to set up a visit with you, or whatever. Your father passed away, and at the time, like, so they took me back to the cell, right? It's no cellies, it's no nothing. So I'm in a hole, I'm by myself. Um, and it was a sergeant, right? Sergeant Moore, I never forget her. And she like, man, listen, I'm gonna let you out, but they was only releasing me to the gang unit. So they like, look, I'm gonna let you out. I don't really want to have you up here and be dealing with this. So they let me out to the gang unit, and I had like I had my big bro, Uncle Rat was there. You know what I mean? I had a homie named QB, he was there. I had a
Okay.
lot of good men. It was the gang unit. So really, no matter what neighborhood they was from, no matter what part of the city they was
Right.
from,
Right.
they was there. So dudes is constantly coming by my door, checking in on me, and it was tough, but they allowed me to get through it. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason why it was tough is because growing up, my father was a street dude, but he wanted so much for me and my brother not to be in the streets that he
Right.
was like so hard. You see what I'm saying? And it was causing a thing. Like, and right before I came to jail, we had actually start working on our relationship and we got so cool and so tight. And then I came to prison and Allah, man, took him to Jenna, man. So, that was like one of the toughest things for me. Um,
Man.
I lost both of my grandparents, I lost many of homies, along the way. Um,
You ever lost somebody on the yard?
um, well, not an actual like blood on my count and on my time, but I had a very good friend of mine. Um, right. He ended up getting shot and killed on the yard by the police. Right.
Gotcha.
Um, my man Ace, he from Ohio. Right. They had him labeled as the Midwest bank robber, and he had about 1,000 years, like literally about 1,000 years. And he would always come to my cell every day and be like, "Man, I'm not doing 1,000 years, man. I'm gonna make him kill me in here. I'm gonna make him kill me in here." And sometimes, a lot of people just talk. Like, you see what I'm saying? But you never know what somebody really going through and how they dealing with their time. And unfortunately, one day, a couple of young guys got sent at him, thinking it was a game. And he was able to rebound, regroup, and he get the knife and the dude down. And police shot him and killed him on the yard, man. I mean,
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah, man. That's just like we had lost one of our old heads on the yard, and we had like a whole little funeral for him and everything, yo. Like
Hmm.
they let us get the chaplain. We had like the music playing and niggas speaking in on his behalf and shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that shit get deep, yo. Like, know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
losing somebody on the yard like that, like
Hmm.
that was one of our guys. Like, know what I'm saying? Like, so the smooth program,
Hmm.
walking into that. Tell me about that.
Um, you going in is 23-1. You got it, Selly. So listen, right? So this book was weird about my first time going to the smooth. So I get there, and you got to go through the process, the intake process. So I'm going through, I'm shackled or whatever. So I got to go to see what's considered SIS, right? SIS is basically internal affairs.
Internal
So
affairs, yeah.
they like, yo, yeah, you leave in such and such spot or whatever. We heard you was because like in a lot of different penitentiaries, you have situations where like the East and the West get the beefing, you know what I mean? The North and the South get the beefing.
Right,
So
right,
they
right.
like yeah, well, we heard you beefing with the West Coast Bloods. Right. Now this is just they intel because it can't be accurate. Of course, I'm from the East Coast, but my neighborhood is from the West Coast. But I'm like, nah, this ain't true. They like, well, according to our information, this is what's happening. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
So now, mind you, despite what they saying that they know, when I get upstairs and get to my cell, they put me in a cell with a dude that's bounty hunters. Now, bounty hunters is from out of California. So you say I'm
Right, right, right.
beefing with my homies from out of California, but yet you put me in a
Right.
cell with it. So this is like the little games, that they play, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I get there. Um, there's no television. There's no radio.
Mm.
Um, orange jumper. You shower. You shower every 48 hours. Um, you go to the yard 1 hour a day. If your yard time falls on your shower time, you got to pick one of the two. Um,
Mm.
um, anytime you exit the cell, you handcuffed to the back, black box to the back. Um, I was in Lewisburg, so Lewisburg is in Pennsylvania. This was like one of the roughest joints in the system when it came to that type of
Right,
situation. And
right.
police whipping you, you know, police setting you up, putting you in
Mm-hmm.
cells with dudes you shouldn't be in cells with, putting you in cages with dudes you shouldn't be in cages with. Um, and this is just your reality for the next 2 years. Now, anytime you catch an incident report, you start all over.
Okay.
So if you got to do 24 months, you could be on month 23.
And something happened, and you got
And
to go right
something
back to
happened,
month
you
one.
go all the way back to the beginning, right? We call it day one, phase one. And so that's how it is. And then you got the misery loves company. So dudes know, okay, well, listen, he just got put in, he about to leave, go back to a yard somewhere, blah, 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 blah. And then this happens. Or police
Damn.
know, so they want to trick you out your spot. Like you might could, but listen, you might could be going to the yard. They shackle you and your celly up. They pull y'all out. They're gonna search your cell before you can go to the yard. They
Right.
might go in your cell, man, and find a slice of bread. They taking your yard from you. You know, but your dinner time is served at 4:30. You have no commissary. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, dudes is trying to hold on a little bit of things. You
Yeah.
know, that was a sick man. I seen dudes using actual butter for lotion. You see what I'm saying? Like it's I, it's some tough times. It's some tough times. Everybody don't go through it, but some of us do. And it shapes some of us and it breaks some of us. Um, Respect to everybody, but that's a big part of what's going on in there. They actually
Yeah.
shut it down
I
though.
was. I remember I was in the hole in Fort Dix, and you know, you eat your breakfast. Come, I don't eat that. I eat my breakfast at lunchtime. Stash my lunch. Eat my lunch at dinner time. Give them back that tray. Now I got my dinner about 11:30.
Yes,
I bust that down Gucci. Man, I
yes,
had my little cakes, my little oranges, my little apples, everything put to the side. Go, I took a shower. I come back, my shit gone.
they doing that. They
Nigga,
doing
I
that.
call him all type of bitch ass. Yo, you trying to take my breast, a
They doing
cake
that.
and an apple and an orange. You ain't supposed to have no food. Now niggas refusing shower.
They doing that.
Niggas refusing y'all to shower. I'm cool. I'm cool. Know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just so you can keep your
Yeah,
food, my nigga.
gotta
Like
keep your
that's
food. You gotta eat.
it was crazy, bro.
It's crazy.
And
And I
you
wasn't even eating no red meat. I haven't eaten red meat in years. And so actually, Meg Omega Red, the one that got me on no meat. And when you get in confinement, um, man, bro, like you don't have nothing to eat.
hell no.
They was feeding us hummus as a substitute for any meat.
Right.
So you might go into the hole, you might be 200 pounds. You might come out a buck 70, depending on how long you in the hole.
The
You
real
know,
Ozepics.
Now this is real, like these are real life things that's happening. And then, when you get served certain injustices, you got certain brothers still going on strike. Or
Right.
on our particular range, they might do you something bad. And so we all gotta align ourselves with you. So now we
Right.
not taking our trades, or we not doing this, or we not doing that.
Right.
We
Right.
covering the windows where police can't see in inside the cell. And so we have all of these things going on. And so, you know, um, prison is definitely, man, a form, man, it's a slow death. For people that don't
Right.
have a strong support system of voices to speak up and things of that nature. So that's definitely something that if people take away from this anything, we
Right.
definitely got to be supportive of our people that's on the inside.
Right. So now let me ask you this: do you think prison reforms at all, or it's really basically on you to figure out if this is, you know what I'm saying, what you gonna, you know what I mean, do you feel prison helps at all?
Prison is punitive, right? It's not a rehabilitative center at all. I've been in there for 23 years. Um and you get met by correctional officers, you get met by counselors, case managers, who, if by right, you asking them a question that could potentially be based around your freedom, and they get upset, but you getting
Right.
a paycheck for this. Like, you here to help me.
Yeah.
The slightest thing that they can do. they have a thing where it's like what is it, corporal punishment, where like if
Right.
one person does something is wrong for everybody, right?
Right.
Programs. So if I have like I had 30 years, right? So there was so many programs that they excluded me from being able to take because I had too much time.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so if I got a lot of time, I can't get right.
You can't get
You
right.
know,
No, hell
so
no.
so 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 what if I give my time back? How do I actually seek redemption? You see what I'm saying? Like how do I reform? So like they realizing you every opportunity that they get, right?
Right.
So me personally, I don't feel like is no part of it that's actually meant to help you. Now you might you always gonna have it's always gonna be an anomaly, right? So it's an exception to
Right.
the rules for everything. Um, However, at the end of the day, you have to be who you know that you could be, and become the person that you want to become, right? I
Right.
feel
Right.
like
Right. Right.
adversity builds character if you're strong
Right.
enough
Hell
to
yeah.
deal with it, right? And so me myself personally, I chose to take that and make myself into this. Now, yeah, I'm just coming home, so people might have question marks on am I really, who I say I am, or do I, am I really on the positive twist and all this other stuff, or is it just I'm just talking or whatever? But I chose to utilize my time and my experiences to better myself, right? And then the things that I've learned, pass along to my people, which I've always done, even when I was doing
You've
something.
always from my research on you, from my in conversation with several different men about you, you've always been a revolutionary.
Mhm,
You've always had that mindset. You've always been a warrior. You've always had that spirit, that pop have that Tupac spirit, as they always say, has
mhm.
been in you since, you know what I'm saying, since I heard who you was. You know what I'm saying? So I already know how you coming, like, you know what I'm saying? And even for you to come home and even move how you move it, and even salute you the box truck. I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, thank you,
And
thank
like
you.
for you to even be willing to give back, that's amazing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers count you out. Motherfuckers think that you want the same type of time, da, da, da. I ain't
Mhm,
gotta prove nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what you doing right now. You moving how you moving. And
mhm,
it's moving. It's what you just touch, bro.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You just touched. Like you just been home and motherfuckers is happy that you're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I appreciate that for everybody that's happy, man. And for the people that might not be happy, I appreciate it all. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I seek no vengeance. Um, I'm pushing forward, I'm pushing positivity. Everybody that I can link with, I'm willing to link with. The people that choose to, have negative outlooks, I meet it with distance. You see what I'm saying? So that's just really where I'm at.
Now, like what we doing over here in Jersey City right now, we're trying to mend a lot of situations that transpired 25, 30 years ago. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? We got like a nice movement going on. We getting these blocks together and really pushing peace and trying to get the youngins off the streets, you know what I'm saying? And get them, because these niggas is beefing over shit that happened 30 years ago. Don't even really know, they don't even know why and understand why they doing the shit that they doing. So like, what would be your method of trying to utilize your stain and get people together that was once not allowed to be together?
I think that seeing is believing, right? And so it's one thing to speak it, right? It's another thing to do it. And so, right, in Islam, you have the speech of the tongue, but you also have the actions of the limbs. And so we know that the youngins is taking on a trend that we have once lived, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
if you from one part of town and he's from one part of town, why don't we start taking more time out to us fraternizing, to us being in the same space? And now it becomes an uncomfortable setting, because if I see somebody that I respect, right,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with somebody from the other side of the spectrum, how could I not, like, they can't disrespect you. So it might be
Right,
hard for me to reach somebody from where you from, but you could reach them, right?
right,
And
right,
so I could funnel my message through you,
right,
right?
right.
Because this is like it's the same thing in the system. if I got a beef with a dude from Carolina, right?
Hmm.
I want to go to the person that's in charge. I don't go to the person that's not in charge. And this isn't
Right,
no
right,
spite to nobody, right? But
right,
everything
right,
comes
right,
with structure and formality, right? And hierarchy. And so I find out who's in charge. I get with him. Yo, listen, we build the relationship and we build the rapport,
right.
right? Because I can't chastise yours and you can't chastise mine.
Very
But
true.
if,
Very
but
true.
but if but if we have a rapport, I can always reach whoever I gotta reach on your side, and you could reach whoever you gotta reach on my side.
Very
You
true.
understand what I'm saying?
Very true. Very true.
And this is what's going on. So what's
Right,
happening is we got the elders, and they like, man, everybody like, man, the YNs is crazy, and you just washing your hands.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when I was coming up, I remember a lot of my elders grabbing hold of me. You know, man, come on.
right,
Even if
right,
it was,
right,
man, we gonna go smoke, man. I see potential in you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten you up, or I'm gonna look out for you like this or whatever.
right,
Where today, a lot of our elders is abandoning the youngins.
right,
So you leaving them away to
right,
find their way.
right,
You see what
right.
I'm
What
saying?
the fuck? What happened, bro?
So if
Like,
you don't have no sense of direction, it's a song. Who was it? I think it was Meek Mills, and he said, I don't blame you, I blame it on your old heads. And so
right,
at the end of the day, we have to take some accountability,
most definitely.
right? People on the streets might not identify it or recognize it, but with you being in the system, you know when you come in, okay, he got the car, right?
Right,
No matter how old or how young, he gonna be the one that's gonna determine your fate while you on the inside.
right, right,
It has to be the same way on the outside. But
right.
people are so frightened by
Structure.
conspiracy,
Right,
right?
right,
It's the conspiracy thing, right? Well, if they doing this, I can't even get caught talking to them because next thing you know, I could be on their case and all this other stuff. No, be adamant
right,
and clear, right,
right,
on where you stand in your position, right?
right,
So I don't mind who calls me because when you call me, I'm gonna be adamant and I'm gonna be clear on my position.
right,
And then in the process of me giving you my position, I'm gonna try my best to give you some wisdom. I'm not gonna hang up on you. I'm
right,
not gonna ignore your call. You see what I'm saying? Be
right.
so you know the each one teach one went out the window. The it takes a village went out the window. Now
Very
it's like
true.
every man for themselves, but people still claiming communities and still claiming neighborhoods. Like
Right,
where is the us thing at? You
right,
know, and so when the person I have no understanding for what's some of the sensitive stuff I've been seeing since I've been home and all of
right.
that. Um, but also being a realist, right? When you have people outside fending for themselves and they have no sense of direction, what do we expect to happen?
What do we expect them to do?
Like, what do we really expect to happen when nobody's saying, yo, no, right? You going yes
Nobody's
the
saying,
person
yo,
all
no.
day long, but you
Even
afraid to give them a no.
even with like before when I was doing the speaking engagements, I would go to these government agencies and I'm like, yo, let me get some funding. Let
Hmm.
me get let me get 3 spots at this construction site. So I don't want to just keep going to these schools talking to these youth. I want to be able to offer them something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we can get them a job at a warehouse making $8, $9. That's not coming home from the halfway house. That's not what you. That's not. You know what I mean, like you need the opportunity. Like, you know what I mean, like.
Absolutely.
And I was just telling a youngster today in the previous interview. He chasing the street dream, and I'm like, bro, like I actually got emotional talking to him because I'm like, my nigga, I was once 18 and I cared about my name and all this goofy ass shit at 18. At 42 years old, it sucks that I can't work certain jobs
Yeah.
or get certain apartments. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or live the life I truly want to live. At 42, I'm paying for decisions I made at 17 still. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the end. Like if you're gonna make it out of this, you want to make it out of this, right? So you got a future, unless you don't and you want to die. Like I mean, like
Mhm.
it's like they don't even have no no sense of future. Niggas is looking
Because
at today and yesterday. That's it.
it's the instant gratification thing, right?
Right.
Um, and so you, I somebody had spoke to me yesterday, and they was telling me about inclination, right?
Okay.
Um, and you have like mental and emotional inclination, and that's like the things that you choose, right? And then
Right.
you have physical inclination, which is like a slope, right? So that's something that's like on the slant, right? Like an
Right.
incline.
Right. Okay.
And so we all have inclination, right? Because we all choose things, right? But then we all have inclination in the physical the way as though we have that slope that goes down. So initially, the things that we're going to choose is the things on the bottom,
Right.
right? And the bottom is what that can be considered the negative aspect of what's really going on, right?
Right.
So
Right.
initially, this is what we're going to choose. So we can't judge the youngins for initially choosing the wrong thing. You have to
Right.
be a
Right.
special kind of person to
To
just
choose the right
instantly
thing.
off the break just grab hold of all the fruit up here.
Right. Very true.
Understand what I'm saying? So we can't throw them away when they grab hold of that. We just have to show them how to redirect their attention, their adherence, the things in which they find appealing. And
Right.
so a lot of the people that I know was in the streets when I was in the streets, now that I've come home, they've changed their lives completely. People still look the part. You know, everybody want to be fly, they want to have the jewelry, they want to have this, but
Right.
dudes is going about it a different way.
Right.
And so if we able to communicate this to the youngins, right? And show the youngins that, man, today, yes, it is this thing, but tomorrow is going to be something totally different.
Right.
You know,
Right.
then I think we can grab hold of more of them. And it's also digging deep enough to finding out the who's who's.
Right.
We
Right.
just we just have like we just put them all in the box, right? They just, I ain't never heard YN until I got home. And I got home almost
Right.
90 days ago. I never heard it. But now that I've
Right.
heard it, it's like, yo, them the YNs. I
You
don't
put
know
them in
who
the
run the
box.
YNs. I don't know who is the what, who is the and I'm not searching, just to be nosy. But if you chop off the head, the body falls, right?
Right.
So let's start finding out the who's who's when it comes to the youngins. Let me borrow an hour of your time. Let me borrow an hour of your time. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But in order to be able to get his time, you have to make sure that you on your square and the things that he see is upright. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Very
That
true.
you
Very
looking the
true.
part, you standing on business, you speaking the truth. And now he gonna gravitate towards you. And like I said, now you funnel your message through him. So you ain't gotta worry about being in the auditorium speaking to 100 kids because you already got the person that's already a young kid that could do it for you
Exactly.
because they gonna
Exactly.
hear him.
They gonna
They
hit
gonna
him.
hear him.
Right.
They ain't gonna hear you.
Right.
You see what I'm
So
saying? They're
now,
not gonna hear you.
so now, let me ask you this: what was the craziest shit you saw in that motherfucker that had you like, man, god damn? Like, what was the? I gotta call home about this shit. Like, what was that? What was that one that had you like, bruh? God damn! Like,
Um, my own personal experiences or something I've seen.
some. I mean, either or.
Um, I'm gonna go with something I seen where white boys, right? Just white boys. Now, us, coming from where we come from, we don't really see them too much, and we don't really get them too much afterthought. And so,
Very true.
white boy come out the hole. It's a buzzer at the outside of the unit door, right?
Right.
And so police got to come and let you in. So when the bell, it's a certain time when you get out of the hole. So it's around 3 o'clock. They normally lock down around 3:45 for count.
Okay.
So dude hit the buzzer. I see all the white boys on the top of the stairwell. So naturally, it like the environment shifts on the inside.
Hell
It'll,
yeah.
get- it'll get quiet. A dude just start lining up on the walls, so you could know and see when something going on. And so they on the top of the stairs. So police come, let the dude in the unit. When he let dude in the unit, He's just standing at the door. Police already know what's going on though. So police go, lock the unit door back, go in the back area by the unit team, right? Locks himself in the back by the unit team, and they killed the dude right there in the unit.
Ah,
You see what I'm saying? And you know, again, like I said, you know, we just think about the streets, man. We don't think about how tricky this shit get
hell
on the
yeah.
other side. You know what I mean? And them people ain't playing fair. You know, now I don't know
Mm-mm.
what dude did or what he didn't do or whatever that warranted that,
Right.
right? Um, but these are the things that, and it's like, damn, um, I come from the streets, and when I got to jail, I looked for myself to defend and protect myself,
Right.
right?
Right.
But
Very true.
according to the system and how their rules go, right? Because if you break their rules, you wrong,
You're
right?
wrong. Hell yeah. Right.
Okay, so but according to their rules and what they're supposed to adhere to, right? When you see that they pulling little stunts and little tricks, right? It's like, man, okay, all right, then yeah. You know what I mean? I might not make it home. And it might not be because you ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to you.
Nah. Hell
But
no.
now you might gotta take a life defending your own.
Defending your own life, and you get ain't. That's why I told niggas like, yo, if I ever go in there, I don't just mind my business. I'm like,
It
bro,
don't work like that.
it don't work like
It
that
don't
because
work
if a
like
nigga
that.
on the crash out mission,
It don't work like that. Ain't no
if a
such
nigga,
thing as just mind your business.
if a nigga want to crash out today, that's what he gonna decide to do. He gonna crash out. So
Absolutely.
now, so when you left the max facilities and you came
Mhm.
down to the medium, was it a moment of like, like,
Absolutely. By the time I got to the mediums, um, and I'm 46, which I like to
okay,
believe is still relatively young. You see what I'm saying? When I got to the mediums, they running around calling me old head. You see what I'm saying? So
that's
so
crazy.
so for me it was easy. Like I was, and my bid wasn't just like a hell of a rough situation with it's like, with the exception of how the administration treated me and
Right, right,
things like that. Um, but when I got down there, it was like, okay, cool. It's a little milder. It's a little easier, a little quieter, less politics. You see what I'm saying? And of course, the guys still came to me for certain advice or whatever.
right, right, right.
But I was able to kind of focus a little bit more on the dean. You get what I'm saying? Like things like that. And so it was like it was definitely a breath of fresh air for sure.
Hell yeah. I mean, I know when I went up to the motherfucking pins, I was like, what the fuck did I like? This is a whole different environment compared to where I
Yes,
just came from. You know what I'm saying?
yes, yes.
Even with paperwork, like it's a lot of pressures. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You gotta have your pay, and you got niggas in there that want you to be fucked up. It ain't like nigga reading. No, no, no,
They look
nigga,
at the nigga hit you with the banana in the tailpipe.
nigga
You
pull
got
your
niggas
nigga
that's
pull your
looking to make a name.
nigga pull your state charges up. Nigga get on the phone, call his wife. Look everything about this nigga up. I want to find
Absolutely,
something. I want to
absolutely.
find something. Looking at your number, I want to find something on this nigga. Like
Gonna
I
do
want
it.
him to be fucked up. You know what
They
I'm
gonna
saying?
do it.
But the good thing about the feds is I was able to make a lot of good friends in different states and cities, yo. Like, you know what I mean? I'm 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 tapped in every state in the world. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Every major city in the world behind some good men that I was down there with. You know what I'm saying? Good nacho bowls, good rice bowls.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? You know what I mean? So like I know for me, my 10 started when I got five in. When
Mhm.
did this 30 start for you?
I had five in. I had five in on it. I came in 2002. Well, actually, you could say four. I came in 2002. I got sentenced in April of 2026. I mean 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they gave me 54 months jail credit. Um, I did 23 years. I would have been home August of 27, but they passed a new law called the First Step Act. A lot of good men is benefiting from it. a lot of good men is being thrown behind the bus behind it because they're not allowing them to get their credit. So that's
Mm.
definitely something we should take. We should definitely speak up on out here.
Mm-hmm.
The first step allows you to get 10 to 15 days off of every month if you stand out of trouble or if you program it.
Oh, they finally put that in
Yes,
play.
that's in the play. That's in the play,
Holy shit! Hey, yo, they've been
right?
fighting for that for eons.
Now it's in the play. Now what the dilemma is was not allowed. A violent crime takes you out the fold, right? And they have like a recidivism level. So you have like a high, a low, no, a higher, medium, a minimum, and a low. Only
Okay.
minimums and lows is they allowing to apply the credits.
Okay.
So you could have 1,000 days worth of credits, but if you can't get your custody level down to a medium or a minimum, you can't apply them. So this is how
Man.
dudes is getting stuck. And so,
Mm.
my later years in my bid, I was more laxed. I was more lackadaisical. Like my bid was smooth, and so I wasn't really going back and forth to the hole no more and things like that. So my custody was able to drop, and
Right.
administration was like, "Look, man, you've been down here in the medium, you've been out the way, you've been kind of keeping things calm. If we could get you get you your benefits, we'll get you your benefits." And so they did so, and I got 2 years on the bracelet, but I'm still earning 15 days off of a month. So my 2 years turned into 1 year. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I got the home confinement, and I made it home September 3rd of this year right
Right.
here.
Right. Because I know they're definitely working on a lot of laws. I know Trump signed that crack bill into
Yeah, for
play.
sure.
Got a lot of people home. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of new laws that's coming about, and that's what's up. That they was able to get the retroactivity on that and get
Hmm.
up out of there.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Because like you got a lot of dudes, and like I've been getting like DMs about like the Max B shit, about the Big Meat shit. When people come home and these years just disappear, and
Hmm.
you can't account for this big ass time reduction that you got.
Now,
You know what I'm
now that's
saying?
real. I mean, and I'm not speaking to their situation, but
Right,
we are skeptical people. you know um we inquisitive, and we want to know. So at the end of the day, just to clarify for me personally,
right.
off of 30, you do 25 with good time. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I did 23 and I got 2 years on the bracelet. You see what I'm saying? So that will be my 25. I actually lost good time over the years. However, back in about 2020, maybe 21,
Okay,
somebody filed where you're supposed to get 54 days of good time off a year.
okay.
So when somebody was doing the calculations, they discovered that the feds was only giving us 47 days off of a year opposed to 54.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they
87%.
readjusted, yeah, so when they readjusted everybody's time, and those months right there came back off my sentence, that's how I was able to cap
Like,
off
okay,
the
cool,
initial
cool.
25. You know what I
That's
mean?
what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So that's hope because these laws was the ones that was posted on the wall that
Mhm.
every election niggas was like, yo, they going
It's we
to
gonna we gonna get, we gonna get some relief. That's right.
get some
Yeah.
relief, and then it don't
Yeah.
happen, and niggas be like, ugh.
Nah, for
So when I
sure.
heard, so when I heard that crack law went through, and oh my guys, I got a few guys who had life sentences who like, bruh, I go home tomorrow,
Nah, I seen him. I seen it. I
like.
seen it. I seen it.
So what was COVID like in there?
You locked down. No matter what your circumstances is, you locked down. You're not coming to
Lockdown.
the cell. It's you and your celly. Y'all locked down. They gonna open the door. They gonna direct you and your celly to the shower. Y'all going straight to the shower. Cuff. You going back in the cell. You can't get no commissary because they don't want to serve commissary because they don't want their security to they guards and stuff to come into contact with something that could potentially be happening. Um,
That's crazy.
you know, um, they serving you your 3 meals a day, and that's it. That's how it's going. Like that's really what it was for where I was at. when COVID hit, I was in McDowell. I
Okay.
was in McDowell. I had just left Raybrook, New York. I was in Raybrook for 2 years. I ended up being in McDowell for 4 years. When I got there, it was 2019.
Okay.
And right after I got there, with COVID hit like 20, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
2020.
COVID hit in 20. So right after that, COVID hit, and it really wasn't nothing to talk about. It was just lay it down. You see what I'm saying?
And they had y'all. They had y'all on that for about what, a year and change.
We stayed on. Well, actually, McDowell drug it. They drug it. They drug it in the mud for about really the whole time I was there, and I was there for 4 years. Now, what they did was they lessened up on keeping us locked behind the door for 24 hours a day.
Right.
But when they started opened it up, it started to be modified. So now modified is this unit don't come out with this unit. You see what I'm saying? You don't eat in the chow hall no more. You just
Mm-hmm.
go and get your tray. You bring your tray back.
Mm-hmm.
They do commissary for just one portion of the unit at a time. Like this
Right. Right.
tier go,
Right.
that tier
Because
go.
the fucking state prisons, they kept it like that. They still like that right now.
See what I'm saying? But the feds lessened up. When I left the feds, um, everything was open where I was at.
Okay.
I left from
Okay.
Cumberland. I went to Cumberland in what, 23? So I was, yeah,
Okay.
I was in Cumberland for 2 years. So I
Okay.
got to Cumberland in 23.
Miss Hart was
Um
still there.
who?
Miss Hart.
Miss
She
Hart.
work.
Wait,
She work in the school building.
I don't think so.
No,
I
she was
think
gone.
it was like all men that worked in the school building for real.
My nigga Fats from fucking DC. Good dude at DC was there, yo.
Hmm.
My man Fats, good dude. My man Cheese, good dude. Lifers is in there. They still in that motherfucker right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Shit's crazy, man. So like, just like mentally now, you've been home 90 days. What are you doing now to help you get your mind clear, get your mind back focused, to do things? I know you working. I know you
Mhm.
getting to it. I know you still working out. I know you still doing that. But how are you centering yourself back into the world now?
I mean, I just take some time out, for me. You know, um, I deal with my lady, we find time to, find peace within each other. Um, I take a moment out for myself because I feel like, silence is it could be your best friend. And that's one of the things that I've learned to become acclimated with by being locked down for so many years. Um,
Right.
so I just take time out to do that. I spend time with my mother. I communicate with my daughter, my kids. It's the small things for me. It's not
Mhm.
so much the big things. I'm not in the state, and so I'm out of my terrain. So I ain't really, all over the place. I'm on a bracelet. Um, and I'm just really just taking some time out to get to know myself out here.
Right.
Allow people that surround me to familiarize themselves with me today. So that
Right.
way, it ain't no culture clash where like
Right.
I might
Right.
be
Right.
potentially doing something that might, upset them, subconsciously because we build
Right.
habits on the
Right.
inside.
Right.
Um, I'm constantly studying still, you know, um, I'm making sure I get my prayers in. Sometimes I might not make all five, so I ain't looking to see like I'm perfect. Um,
Right.
but I'm doing that. I'm communicating more with family, like I said, and just staying at it, man. Like I said, I'm working 5 days a week. When I ain't doing that, I'm on my little computer on my phone trying to book me loads for the truck and just staying at that, man. So I'm putting distance
Right.
between
Right.
myself and people that ain't on what I'm on and getting closer to the ones who are. So,
Somebody want to know, can the audience ask a question? Most definitely. If you got a question, put it up
yeah,
there. We'll
ask me
definitely ask the
anything.
question. Hell yeah. You ask whatever you want to ask, my boy. Cause like, like, I find my peace now in traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
I
mhm.
go, I sit by that beach, and I just look at that water, yo.
I can
You know
imagine.
what I mean? Yeah, I fucking think about that 40-foot wall. I think about that gun tower. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I think about not being able to see outside unless you at a certain part of the jail. and
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? I try to travel every 3 to 5 months. I try to get the fuck out of here. I try to work. I drive that truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up 2 in the morning to about 5:30 sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Getting
yeah,
to it, put them hours in, but
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody said, "What's the first meal you got when you came home?"
My favorite food is seafood. So
Okay,
I had anything you could imagine when it came to seafood: oysters, clams, the crab legs, the scallops, the calamari. Like I'm very big on that. Like I don't eat red meat, so
right, right,
that's
right.
really my thing right there.
You had a whole platter of that shit.
I
You
had
had a whole.
everything. We had a whole situation going on for sure.
Sheesh. What does redemption look like moving? What does redemption look like moving forward?
Um, for me, redemption is first and foremost taking accountability,
Okay,
right? I feel like until you take accountability, you can't move forward. And so it's acknowledging, and being able to, regardless of what my intentions was, right? My actions were perceived another way. And so I was responsible for certain things, good and bad. Um, and so taking accountability in the lives that I've affected, in a negative way, um, whether it was, my co-defendants, my co-defendants family, my family, and then trying to rectify the affair, right? So being able
right,
to sit here today and say that, listen, um, all of what I did wasn't right. Some of it was wrong. I take accountability for that. Um, you know, um, I ask for people to not judge me by my mistakes, you know, but to view me in a manner in which the man that I am today and trying to make right, and the only way that I can make right, um, is giving back to those who are currently in the state that I was in at that point in my life. So
right,
for me, that's the biggest thing with redemption, accountability, and then rectifying the affair. So like I said, I'm gonna
right.
speak it and then I'm
Well
gonna act
said.
on it.
Well said, my boy. Well fucking said. Well put together. Your vocabulary is crazy too, my nigga. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. I
The way
appreciate
you
that.
speak is very. I mean, and when we come out, reading. I tell people reading helps you with your vocabulary.
Hmm.
Helps you speak way more eloquent. Helps you, especially when you. I can't wait to see you inside the speaking engagement. I know you're gonna be sharp and on point when it comes to that. Like,
Hmm.
um, I just wish you, man. That's why, like, even when I was hitting you when you first came, that's why I'm like, yo, fuck the interview. How you adjusting, my nigga? Like, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
you try to ask, because people don't, a lot of people don't ask us that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, how you doing? Not what you. Sometimes you come home and you fall right back into the seat you was in when you left. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And nobody even cares to ask you, hey, yo, how you doing, bro? Like,
exactly.
how you feel? Like how you feel being home,
Yeah,
seeing buildings you never seen before. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Technology you never seen before. Like, you know what I mean? Like shit was you know what I mean? Like it's just a different world out here right now, but shit still the basics don't change.
yeah, for sure, for
The
sure.
basics don't change. You know what I'm saying? I see the merch, I see the hoodie, the hat.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a perform every chance I get. So
So where can where you told us where we can find the books, where can we find the merch at?
same thing, man. Red Money Jersey. My man Rude Boy, he pumping. Like, man, he's a very big support for me out here. Everything I got going on is going through him. Or again, you could tap in with me, America's underscore massacre, on IG, or America's Massacre on Facebook.
Somebody just posted a question. They said, I read your book, both of them. I love them. I read the part about you and Tretch having to face off at one point.
Mhm.
Did you and Tretch ever piece everything up? And what's your relationship now?
That's my brother. We talk when I came home. We family. When sometimes family have disagreements. Um, that's things of the past. I appreciate the question though for sure. But like I said, that's my brother. There's no love lost. We definitely talked since I came home. Um, and yeah,
That's
it's
what's up.
all love for sure.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Like, there's nothing wrong with piecing things up, man. Like coming, I mean, like especially shit years and years and years and years ago. Let that shit go, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's
for
nothing
sure.
wrong. There's nothing wrong with people letting it go. You know what I mean? And I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? I came home. My first thought was to come home on bullshit. Then it's like, nigga, you gonna go right back. The streets is different. You know what I'm saying? So let me try to rectify some of this wrong that nigga done put. You know what I'm saying? Some of this harm a nigga done did. This is the reason for the podcast. You know what I'm saying? For me to take these experiences and let people learn and thrive off our stories, hate what we went through. Because I know now you got niggas listening 23. Yeah, wait, what? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, like shit get real, bro. Everything ain't gonna be and it ain't like a movie. 10 years later, you see nigga come in and then
Yeah,
come out.
yeah,
No,
yeah. Nah, it ain't that. It
no,
ain't
ain't
that.
that, ain't
Yeah,
that.
for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Every day is crazy in there. So like, in closing, like, give me like what's some good words you have for your listeners, for your followers, for your viewers, potential plans, things you got going on, things to look out for. You know what I'm saying?
Um, well, I've been building with my guy, man. My brother Nuff. We've been building, silently. I don't want to put too much out there,
Of
but
course,
we trying to do something for our immediate community. You know what I mean? And not dismissing the other neighborhoods or communities because we here for everybody, but we definitely trying to do something for our immediate community. Um, the merch is going. Potential movie deal in the making. We trying to go ahead and put the final touches on that. That's the purposes of every time you see me
with
posting, it's a
that,
book, it's a hoodie, you know we definitely got that campaign going on. That's as far as my platform. I got the box truck business going on, Ready and Rapid. Now outside of that, just words of encouragement, man. Be true to yourself. You know that tomorrow is bigger than the moment. So it's
right,
easy to get lost in today. You know, keep the goal a goal, a mission the mission, right?
right,
Because it's easy to get lost in the means and we'll forget where we going.
right,
So always keep the plan and never deviate from the plan, right? And
right,
sometimes you gonna get shifted over here and shifted over there. Sometimes your main man might fall off track or whatever, but
right,
and you might be the person actually behind somebody else, you know,
right.
um, but that could be your opportunity to step to the forefront, right, and make it happen. Um, and you don't have to be the captain of the boat,
Nah, you
you
don't
know.
have to be the captain of the boat. You don't have to be the
At,
captain of
at
the boat.
at the end of the day, man, as long as we all trying to get to the same place, we can stay unified, stay together, and teamwork make the dream work, man. That's as easy as I can put it. Um,
Right.
the negativity ain't really gonna get you nowhere.
Nah, it's
It's
not. It's not.
it's easy for me to say it today, um, but I've been through it. So I'm not somebody that's just speaking on something that I haven't lived. I came to jail
Right,
at 22 years old. I'm
right.
46. My birthday present for me at 22 was a prison cell. That's what I got on my 22nd birthday. You know,
Sheesh.
so want better for yourself, want better for your family. Understand that even if you want to be outside and you feel like you can deal with all that comes with it. Can your mother deal with it? Can your father deal with it? Can your siblings deal with it? Prison incarcerates an entire family, an
The
entire
ripple effect.
neighborhood. It's
That
not
ripple
just
effect.
you
Yeah.
that goes to prison. So if you really claim yourself to be the person that you are, then think about that. Selflessness is always going to conquer selfishness. You know, um,
Talk
and
about it.
that's what sacrifice is always about, man. So in closing, man, I just hope that everybody learn how to do better for themselves and do better for the community. And let's lock it in. Let's tie it in. That's one
Let's
thing the
tie it in.
feds taught me is that we from Jersey. You know, so it ain't no separation in there. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So we ain't got to be separated out here. You know,
Very true. Very true.
so you
And,
know
and if this is a way to bridge the gap, listen, man, I'm in full support. You know what I'm saying? I got a few things going myself. We tapped in with a good support system. My boy Truth in the motherfucking comments and shit. He got his podcast going as well.
that's right.
Truth beyond the walls.
Hmm.
Yo, it's so much out here that we could do. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. I want to encourage niggas to be better fathers, be better men, be better. You know what I'm saying? If I could close a jail down, I would. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If I could, Wharton told me, my nigga, that they got a bed projected for a 1 year old
They
right
do.
now.
They
We
do. That's
know
that's statistically, that's what they do.
statistically, we know that 5 out of 10 of y'all grew up like this, and 3 out of yo, when they broke that shit down, I'm in this motherfucker like, yo,
They
like,
break it down off the literacy rates in elementary school. So what they do
yes,
is they take third graders, right, and they see the reading level in which they're reading at, right? And somehow, some way, those numbers give them projections on how many beds they're gonna need the next 20 years down the line.
because if you think about it like this, right, the nigga in school that didn't know how to read, what they did, they picked on him, right? He stopped coming to school. He an outside nigga now. He ain't coming to school. He's an idle mind is a devil's playground. He eventually
I
going
promise you it is.
he and now he's the corner boy. Now he's the hustler. He either going to die or be
Absolutely.
in one of them beds that they projected for him.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So they already know. They already know, bro. They
For
already
sure.
fucking got this shit figured out. I want to break that.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm
Let's do
saying?
it.
I want to
Read the
find a
link.
way to fuck them numbers up. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about Con Air sitting out there, being in the hole, being in the smooth program, being in the shoe, seeing violence, seeing niggas get killed, seeing people get stabbed, the gun towers going off, Mexicans, white boys, black, it will fuck you up, bro.
It will. The psychological trauma that come with that is severe. It is. It will.
Like
It will.
we for a motherfucker to come home, you think a nigga gonna be normal coming home after all that shit? Like it's really like it's inhumane conditions. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, I interviewed yesterday. A nigga told me that in Trenton, Asseg, you gotta shit through a hole on the wall.
Yeah, it's a hole. It's a little. It's a cement joint, and it's like a little brick thing right there, and it's just a hole right there. For sure. Absolutely. That's no lie.
Come on, my nigga.
That's no lie.
Come on, my boy. Like, come on, bro.
That's
Like
no lie.
they treat dogs and monkeys better than that, my nigga.
You gotta know what you up against, man. It's impossible, man. It's impossible to do the things that you want to do if you don't know what you up against. And so you gotta stay well informed. You know,
Got to,
um,
bro.
you got to stay well informed. And it's bigger than just social media. Yes, it's a platform. Um, it provides opportunity for us. You know,
Right,
um, but we have to find greater ways. To inform ourselves. We can't just get caught up on. All right, yeah, Mad's got the box truck, or Falan got the new jewelry on. Nah, what's up with this book right here? What's up with this information right here? People got CDL programs, they got credit programs, they got, we have to be interested in these type of things. We
right,
have to be interested on what's the first step act. Why do we got family members that's saying that I'm coming home next year, and then they don't come home for 3 years later? Everybody want to say, "Oh, we just lied to us, to just drag us along the bed." Nah, understand the system and how it's working, and you'll see how our brothers and sisters is being fucked behind the wall.
right,
You understand what I'm saying?
right.
So, you
Male
know,
and female.
male
Male
and
and
female.
female.
This is not
Male
just
and
a
female.
man thing. This is
Right,
about the brothers and the sisters. You
right,
know, and we got just as many young brothers outside as we got young females outside. So this ain't just directed towards one demographic. This is
especially in
about
this
the youngest period.
especially in this era right now. You watch the gram, you see the young girls acting like hooligans. You see the
You
young
know,
girls, they I don't know where this energy is coming from, but it's a real negative energy taking over our women. It used to be just the
yeah,
little homies.
yeah,
Just the
man.
little homies was wild. Now it's our ladies.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you,
They shooting, they running over girls with their cars, they
they
and that's
outside. They
like what's going
outside.
like what the
They
fuck is going
outside.
on? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, man. That's how they say it. They outside, man. But one thing they forget about is eventually you got to go in the house.
eventually I go now.
You know,
Eventually we gotta go in the house, my nigga.
and that's
Hey
how, and
bro,
that's when it's time to start dumbing it down, to start being a little easier, man. Start figuring this out. You know, um, man. I just wish everybody the best, and hopefully, man, somebody grabs something from this interaction. Um,
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You say you want to do something. I'm here. We can do it. I gave you my personal number, so you got that.
Listen, I got
Um,
no problem pulling up on you, my nigga. I don't care nothing about that. I'll pull right up to your motherfucking spot, nigga, and we can do what we need to do. I know what I mean.
for
Listen,
sure.
real nigga shit. Like, know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
for sure.
This is what, like I said, bro. Like, I feel like I've known you for years, bro. When I tell you, I've heard so many good stories about you, my nigga. Like,
Thank
know
you.
what I mean. So when I tell you, I'm honored and privileged to be able to have this. You could have sat down with any podcast out here, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I jumped out there and I said, "Fuck that! I'm hollering at bro.
Yeah,
We
yeah, for
home."
sure.
As soon as I seen you on Super, I said, "Bro, home?"
Nah, big
I said,
brother won
"Say
that.
that."
Big brother locked me in. He like, man, nah, that's the home team. Do it. Like
You know what
he'll
I'm
tell you.
saying?
You know what I
I
mean? Like,
fucks with I
nah,
fucks with
he
bro. I fucks with bro. I go to
for
all his
sure.
events. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Big Red, that's my guy. Me and him,
Yeah,
we
for
was we
sure.
was we was a coming together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Learned a lot from bro, learned a lot from the homie. You know what I'm saying? Scooped me to a lot of shit. Even out here, whenever I run into him, it's nothing but respect, nothing but love.
for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? I took my hat to you, to your movement. You know what I'm saying? I support everything you got going on, my nigga. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
And I totally appreciate you for this, my nigga. Word,
And
bro.
I appreciate you, man. Equally so, man. I appreciate you just as much, brother.
Word is born, my nigga. I need you to be safe out there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I need you to motherfucking nigga. If you want to tap in, you just want to talk about some shit, we beat down, nigga. I'm on your phone now, nigga. So what's up?
Yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like
Absolutely. So you win.
I'm that
Yeah,
I'm that nigga that's gonna ask you how's your mental health, bro? Like
for sure.
how you feeling? Like you know what I'm saying? Like what's on your mind? You good? Like because
Mhm.
I know everything else is you know we try to jump back into the groove, but you know on them at the moment sometimes we just need a nigga to be like yo, bro, it's
Make
okay.
it happen. For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? It's okay. You only one person, bro. Like,
Sure.
can't do it all.
Sure.
Just chill out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But
Sure.
I'm happy you home, bro. You walked that 20, nigga. You walked 23 years down, bro.
For
It's a
sure.
long time, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a long time. I want you to give yourself props, my nigga, for walking
For
that shit
sure.
down. You ain't come home like no sucker. You stood on 10 toes every prison you've been in. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you, my nigga, for not breaking, not folding. Niggas hanging themselves for less. You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
sure.
So I want you to know, bro, like I salute you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Always, bro. And you'll be seeing me in the flesh real soon.
Let's go.
Let's do that. You know what
For
I'm
sure.
saying? Love, appreciate everybody that tapped the fuck in. I told y'all I had an exclusive fucking interview for y'all. And I
Yeah,
delivered. You know what I'm saying? My God, Mass Show. Listen, man. Nothing but love and respect, bro. You need anything, though, you tap in, my nigga.
for sure, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks to
I
everybody that
appreciate
tapped in.
you. So
All
hold
right,
up.
bro.
So just so we can know again, give them the link for the book one more time. Give them the link for the clothes. So just so we everybody can know from the beginning to the end where they can find the merch and where they can find the book at.
For sure. All hoodies, all hats,
You
all
got a copy
books.
of the book?
Yeah, I do. It's downstairs though, but
Okay.
check out my platform. The one that we posted for the live today, that's the second book. The first book I actually posted earlier today, America's Massacre. They both books, part one and part two. America's Massacre. The first one is the audacity of despair and the message of hope. The second one is surviving mass incarceration. The first one is, my life coming from a youth up into my day of incarceration. And then surviving mass incarceration is me coming inside and basically making it to a lower custody, which we know is a journey in and of itself.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
like I said, America's Massacre, man, is nothing negative. It's not nothing gang related. It's just us representing for the bottom half of America, urban society, and saying how America treats us. Um, and so that's what that's about. So if anybody wanted to know that concept, it's available. Red Money Jersey on Instagram, America's underscore massacre on Instagram, America's Massacre on Facebook. Um, you
Say
know,
that.
the real six baby, you could tap in with him.
Say
Um,
that.
we out,
I'll post all the links. I'm gonna put all the links under there too. So I definitely
for
tap in and
sure.
do all that as well.
So we
I got
representing.
you, my nigga.
I mean, you could order. We pull up at your door if need be. You know what I mean? So let's make it happen, man. I appreciate anybody that want to
Say that.
support. I'm here. So that's what it
Say
is.
that. I appreciate you, my nigga. You be safe out there. Much love and respect. You got
Same
that.
here, bro. For
You
sure.
got that, my nigga. I need you to be safe. And this is available. You can
For
go to the
sure.
page. You can share it. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you want to do. It's yours, my boy. You know the
For
shit.
sure. Say no
All
more.
right, my
Let's
guy.
go.
I love you,
All
bro.
right,
Be
man.
safe, my nigga.
Love you too, bro. Be good.
One, my nigga.
One, thanks for your time, bro.
You already, my boy. Peace, yo.
Peace.